Hello and welcome. I can't believe 2025 is almost over and the new year is just a couple of weeks away. And so as I'm preparing for 2026, I got my decks out to do my forecast reading. Now, this is a special type of service. It's a type of reading that I only offer once a year. And I thought I would walk you through how I structure it and some of the changes that I'm doing this year in case you want to do this type of reading for yourself or if you'd be interested in having me read for you. So where this all began is I used to get readings done at the beginning of the year in January. What's my year ahead going to look like? What kind of energies are coming in? What things should I be aware of? And they'd be wonderful sessions. I mean, I love getting tarot readings. They're so much fun. But the problem is that I would forget them. Like, I'd get it in January, and then come like March or April, I would have forgotten the majority of the reading. And then it's like, life gets busy and one thing happens to the next. And so I said, okay, instead of having just one big reading that I have to like memorize, what if I could just give myself like a 5-minute reading at the beginning of the month? Like pre-record it, write up some notes, give me some like affirmations, some key messages, and then send it to me. So then at the beginning of the month, at the fresh start of every new month, I have like a quick little tarot reading for myself. Now, 12 months is a really long time. That's a long time. And to try to take a whole year and condense it down into an hour-long tarot reading is really difficult, especially if you're focusing on multiple topics at once. So my solution to that is to use multiple tarot decks. And I will designate one tarot deck for one topic. So I've got 4 different tarot decks and 1 oracle deck. And that is how I try to like condense and organize all of that information. So let me just walk you through the cards that I've picked for this year. For the oracle deck, I'm using the same one as last year because it's just so good. This is like the best deck to use for this style of reading because this is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and I absolutely love it. Archetypes are universal, they're fundamental, and they're something that every human can relate to. It's something that is very deep in our human psyche. And so I will pull a card as an archetype that represents the theme or the energy or the focus for that month. And it really kind of sets the tempo for the reading, kind of gives the energy of how to interpret the rest of the cards moving forward. And I think what I love about this deck so much is the guidebook. The guidebook is really well written. It's really well done. It adds a very like nuanced, poetic version of archetypes. And so this will be the first card that I pull, which is what's your theme of this month? What's the energetic theme, the mood, the main archetype that you might encounter or embody for that upcoming month? And it's really interesting. And then the next card I've got, the next deck that I'm going to pull from is a tarot deck, and this one's going to be your spiritual journey or your personal journey. This card is going to represent you, basically. And the deck that I have chosen for this year is called the Illuminating the Prophecy, and mainly I chose it because the artwork is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's very simplistic and elemental. And I find that people really resonate with this artwork on a personal level because it is so deep in symbolism. And there's no humans in this deck. So it's very easy to project your psyche onto this artwork and really see how you're represented in the cards. Your spiritual journey or your energetic journey is represented in the cards. This is the deck that I pull to kind of represent who you are, what you're experiencing. When you enter into this new month, what card kind of represents you in this stage of your life path? It's very beautiful. It's very poetic. This deck itself, now this deck did have borders, but I cut off the borders because they were like bright orange and the contrast to me was just a little bit distracting. But as you can see, as I'm holding up the artwork to the camera, the imagery is very simplistic, but it's full of emotion. This artist says a lot with drawing very little. And I really love that because it allows our intuition to connect with the artwork. It allows our psyche to really connect with the colors and the visuals on the card. And that is a really powerful aspect of tarot. So that's the second deck that I'm going to be using. The third deck is for love and relationships. I'm using the Pre-Raphelite Tarot for this year. And one of the reasons why I picked this tarot deck is because the artwork is so warm and it feels like summer. It feels like emotions to me. And now the imagery is very similar to Rider-Waite-Smith, but it is much more intimate, I feel like. The colors feel very warm and the human expression is very connected. When I look at this deck, I feel like I could almost step into the artwork and the imagery and relate to it on a relationship level, on an emotional level. And when I'm pulling cards about relationships and love, it's very important that that type of deck is a little bit more clear, a little bit more illustrative, because we're talking about something very abstract, which is like our emotions or our relationships. And so by having artwork that is very grounded and very illustrative, it allows us to transcribe those emotions using artwork in a way that we can understand them better or conceptualize them a lot better. So, some people might think that, oh, well, if I'm dealing with love and emotions, I should have more of an abstract deck because emotions are not in the physical realm. And I think sometimes that's totally appropriate. But when I do these like year-long readings, I'm not talking about, people in the abstract. I'm talking about relationships in your real life. How can we project that situation into real life? So I have found the Pre-Raphelite Tarot has been really great for love and relationship readings for me this year, and it is the deck that I've chosen for my 2026 yearly forecast. Now I've got two more decks that I've picked. The third one is for career goals, anything related to the physical plane, if you're going to get a promotion at work, or if you're going to lose your job, or if, something related to the physical plane of life. And the deck that I picked for that is the Fountain Tarot. Now, this one is similar in the sense that it is another minimalist deck. I've been finding that the minimalist decks have been reading for me really well. I've been doing a lot of like exercises, enhancing my intuitive skills and connecting more intuitively. And I find that the cards with less artwork allow my own voice to speak. And so when it comes to career, personal goals, this is the deck that I'm using. And I like this deck because it's very clear. It's lower on the emotional scale than the Pre-Raphelite Tarot. It is a lot more concrete than the Raven's Prophecy Tarot or the Archetypes Tarot. It almost feels a little bit cold, in the sense that the tones are very blue, they're very gray and subdued, but they're very clear. So they're very clear. And I find that when I'm trying to do readings about careers or physical goals or something like that, I want it to be a little bit more defined. I want it to be very clear. And I find that the Fountain Tarot is really good for that. Where are you in your career and any career goals that you might find. Now, I do have affirmations that I like to pair with these as well. So I'm going to be doing that as well because people seem to really like that last year or this past year. So I'll be including affirmations as well for those of you that are interested in like manifestation work. And then finally, the last deck is the same one that I did for my yearly forecast readings last year, because it is just so good. It is so good. And it is the Corrupted Tarot. this is the deck that I'll pull to represent obstacles or challenges for the month. Now, the Corrupted Tarot was designed to represent kind of the shadow aspects of tarot or the negative outcomes of tarot. This is not like a happy deck. You look at the artwork and you see conflict, you see, fear, you see negativity, but it's illustrated in a very beautiful way. And it's meant to do that because it's in many ways, since tarot is the language of art, it's a way of conceptualizing life through art. And art taps into our psyche, our intuition. And sometimes when you're presented with imagery that evokes emotion in you, whether it be, stress or challenge, it allows you to understand that a lot better. And so I'm a huge proponent, I'm a huge supporter of getting decks that might be scary. I'm a huge supporter of it. Not to scare you. I never ever want to give readings to scare people, but because it allows us to conceptualize emotions that might be difficult or challenges that might be difficult. And when I say conceptualize, I mean put into imagery, allow our mind to have like a subject matter to project our challenges on that'll help us process them. It's really powerful. I love my, rainbow, sunshine, and sunflower decks. I love those, the kind where everything is great, everything is wonderful, and everything looks beautiful. But fortunately, that does not represent reality. And I want to know what my monthly challenges are. I want to know so that I can work through them, so I don't have to be overwhelmed by them, that I can encounter my challenges that month and I can persevere through them and say, okay, I knew this was coming. I know that this was going to be a challenge. How am I going to work through it? How am I going to persevere? What is my plan so I'm not caught off guard? The challenges and obstacles portion of my reading I find is so crucial. Of course, everybody wants to hear good news, but we also want to know, how am I going to struggle? What do I need to overcome? And this is what I pull with this tarot deck. I'm going to show you some of the artwork. It's an amalgamation of 78 different artists, but they all have a fantastic way of creating art that just resonates such strong emotion through me. I mean, when I look at this artwork, I always have a reaction to it. Always. I mean, this next card here, Nine of Pentacles, right? We see a young woman sitting in a dark thorn bush. She looks hungry, she looks alone, and there's this hopeful blue jay in front of her that escapes. Absolutely poetic. Like, just by meditating on this artwork alone, I can explore so many elements of this this archetype, this atmosphere within my own soul, within my own life. And it's very beautiful. And I think it's really important for us to lean into those aspects. Shadow work is something entirely different, but it's very necessary. This is not shadow work. It's more like we need to become comfortable with some of the challenges every month. And this is the deck that I use. It's absolutely beautiful. It's called the Corrupted Tarot. It comes with this really great guidebook. It's very thick. And what I love about this deck, is because every single page, it references the artist who did the work and where to find them, which is so cool. Because some of the artwork, I'm like, wow, I want a print of that. I want to hang it on my wall. And when you open, it says the name of the artist and like their social media handles so that you can find their art, which I just love. I love creators who support artists, like real human artists. And the collection that did this deck, I mean, phenomenal. Every single card in this deck is like a stunning work of art. It evokes emotion, thought, reaction. Absolutely love it. Like, as an art piece itself, it is beautiful, but it also gives some incredible readings. So I love to use it for my yearly forecast readings. And then, so what I'm doing this year that's different than I've done in the past is to set up like an auto email thing. I don't know. I've got to like research it a little bit more, but have it so that I can like schedule emails so that instead of you remembering to go and look at your reading for that month, you'll just get an email that's the section of the reading and a clip of the video. So you get like it right in your inbox of like, hey, this is your 5-minute reading for the month of April. Boom, you have it. It's there. You didn't have to look it up. It's like right there. And then come, June, you'd get another one. And August, you'd get another one. And so I'm thinking about having that set up. It'll take a little bit of time, but I think that it'll be worth it. And then the other thing that I was going to do, I don't know if I'm just being too ambitious this year, but I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool to print out my reading in a calendar? Like a calendar that I could hang on the wall. That's not like the full reading, not like the full in-depth reading, but just like a quick summary highlight of these 5 cards for me, and have it printed out on a calendar so I can see it as I'm going through the month. I think that would be so cool because especially too, like if I pull a card and it's like, oh, okay, this is your theme of the month. Oh, your relationships, this is what you can expect that month. And then I have it on my wall, and I was thinking of pairing it with some of my Alaskan scenery. I have a lot of beautiful photos of like Alaskan scenery and animals. Like I went to Katmai a little while ago, and I got some really cool pictures of bears and glaciers and amazing animals. And I was thinking, oh, that would be so cool if I did a calendar where I had Alaskan artwork or Alaskan scenery, and then I put your custom tarot reading on the calendar so you could hang it up and you could see it. So those are 2 things that I'm going to do this year that are a little bit different. If you're thinking about giving yourself a yearly forecast reading, or if you would like me to do it for you, I hope this video was really helpful. If you're interested in booking a yearly forecast reading from me, you can go to my website, lilytarot.com, and it's there. It's gonna be available until December 31st. I don't know how many I'm gonna limit myself to. Let's see how I handle it. Let's see how I do it. But I think it'd be so fun to do the email notifications. I think that would be really cool. And the calendar. I think that's going to be really special too. I hope everyone has a wonderful 2025. I hope the rest of the year is fantastic for you. And hopefully 2026 will be even better. So take care, everyone. And until next time.